And what he's saying is that when you sign a $100 million contract, after New Jersey state taxes cut into it, after federal state taxes cut into it, then it is truly only $60 million, which is...
What the? Stop saying only. What do you mean only? Only, guys, it's just, hey man, it's just only 60 million. That ain't a lot of money. It ain't a lot of money. 60? What can you really do for $60 million these days? Only? Stop saying only. That is a shit ton of generational wealth. Stop saying only. Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy WattsTV, man. And today we have to talk about Odell Beckham Jr. He was recently on the Pivot podcast, and he basically said that you would not be able to live off $100 million. Who wouldn't be able to live off $100 million? I could very easily. That's matter of fact, that's generational wealth. That is very easy. Do you know why? My life won't change that much. Just because you have $100 million, that doesn't mean you should live like you have $100 million, you know? This would be very easy for me and multiple Americans out here. And you know what? When it comes to this conversation, it seems like we constantly have this same conversation over and over and over again. Would you be able to live off this amount? Would you be able to live off that amount? Like, the amount constantly changes. And I am sick of having this dumbass conversation. This is a lot of money. If you give this to anybody that is decent with money, they will be able to live off of it for the rest of their lives easily. But guys, before we get into the clip, please do me a favor. Do not forget to share, like, and subscribe. It really helps out with the channel, and it lets me know that you're rocking with the content. And while you're at it, please do me a favor and do not forget to join the Discord, and also make sure that you subscribe to the gaming channel. Guys, I am going live tonight at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to be playing Marvel Cosmic Invasion with Logic, so make sure that you pull up. It's going to be a real fun time. Oh yeah, and like always, make sure that you hype the video. I really do appreciate you guys. All right, without further ado, man, let's look at this clip. Let's listen to what Odell has to say, and then we're going to discuss. Let's get into it.
If I didn't have $1 in my account right here today as we speak, I'm going to be straight for the rest of my life. No question, right? I don't think everybody is in that. And when you've sacrificed your whole life to get here, and you're like, yeah, I played 10 years in the league. And I always explain this to people, like, bro, you give somebody a 5-year, $100 million contract, right? What is it really? It's 5 years for 60. You're getting taxed. Do the math. That's 12 a year, you know, that you have to spend, use, save, invest, flaunt, like whatever, however, it just being.
There's your issue right there. There's your issue right there. You don't have to flaunt. You should not flaunt, actually. Flaunting is a waste of money. If you use your money for stupid shit, then yeah, you're not going to be able to live off of that money forever because you keep buying dumb shit.
Real, I'm gonna buy a car, I'm gonna get my mama a house, I'm gonna do, everything costs money. So if you're spending $4 million a year, that's really 40 million over 5 years, 8 a year, you know? And now you start.
If you are spending $4 million a year, that's a you problem. That is a you problem. Look, I understand that you want to take care of your family, you want to take care of your friends. That is cool. Here's where I'm confused though, because a lot of the things that he just mentioned are like one-time purchases. If you buy your parents a house, that's a one-time purchase. And it doesn't have to be a mansion. It just should be a nice house, like a regular old $600,000, $700,000 house. Cool. You want to get them cars? One-time purchase. Cool. And also, if you do buy somebody a car, it doesn't have to be a Lamborghini, doesn't have to be a Bugatti, it doesn't have to be any of those things. That is a great, reliable car that is not a gas guzzler. Ain't nothing wrong with a Toyota RAV4. Get something simple. Doesn't have to be a Benz, doesn't have to be a BMW. They want a car, get them some simple shit. Also, if these people love you, they respect you, they are not going to ask for these luxurious things. They would probably just be happy to get a house that's paid for, to get a car that's paid for.
Breaking down the numbers, it's like, that's a 5-year span of where you're getting $8 million. Can you make that last forever? And you always hear the people who.
Yeah, that's very easy. Okay, look. Even with taxes, right? $100 million gonna get taxed. What you are left with, like 58 to 60 million, depending on your state, federal taxes, yada yada, whatever. Cool. Even with that, that is a lot of money that a lot of people would be able to live off of for the rest of their lives because their spending habits aren't stupid. They aren't flaunting and they're not buying this luxurious crap 24/7. That's very easy. You can live off of that. And instead of flaunting and buying luxurious crap, you invest so that you can get even more money. Guys, this is not rocket science. This is not rocket science at all.
Ain't us and ain't been in the position like, oh, well, that was last lifetime. Yeah, this job that I sacrificed my whole life for, they are giving me that. I didn't ask for the certain dollar amount or whatever, but we weren't taught about no financial literacy and all the way. We weren't taught this skill, and it's kind of like, I'll keep this one under wraps, but I got some things in the work that like I'm gonna be able to. The generations that are coming up behind us. When you talk about the storm that me and like moms went through, like I'll be able to be that for somebody else and to be able to help their family on how things are gonna go and yada yada yada. And like,
sure, look, I completely understand what he's saying here, right? He's saying that he really wasn't aware of financial literacy when he got all this money, which is probably one of the reasons as to why he, you know, was flaunting and buying dumb stuff. Like, I wholeheartedly get it. And now that I think about it, he's technically not wrong, because if you're spending 4 to 6 million a year, then yeah, you're not going to be able to live off of that because your spending habits are actual garbage. I get it. But if you give that money to somebody like me, I'm making it last forever. As long as I'm alive, I will always have money. I will always be wealthy. With $60 million, if you play your cards right, that is generational wealth. But I do have to admit, now that I'm listening to him and I watched more of the clip, I completely understand what he's saying, because he's basically saying with his spending habits, you know, spending 4 to 6 million a year, you're not going to be able to sustain that. Like, that's not going to create generational wealth because you're constantly spending. And yeah, Odell most definitely is dumb with his money. Somebody posted this on Twitter and I totally forgot about it. Do you guys remember when LSU won in 2020? Let me just show you the clip. Let me show you the clip.
Let me see it. Let me see it. Let me see it. Let's go. Let's go. I told you that. Odell, what's the part of these guys? What's this game say about the part?
Just handing out money for no reason. So yeah, Odell is dumb with his money, but you know what? He should have said, I would not be able to live off of 60 million for the rest of my life. He really should have specified, because yeah, obviously if you're constantly doing dumb, then yeah, you're not going to be able to live off of that. That's not going to be generational wealth at that point. Just giving people money because they won a championship, you must have lost your motherfucking mind. Get out of here. So naturally, everybody was getting on OBJ's ass, saying, what the are you talking about? Any normal person would be able to live off of $100 million or $60 million, whatever. Any normal person would be able to do that. So Ryan Clark basically made like a short video playing defense for him. So let's hear what Ryan has to say about this situation.
I've been hearing people weigh in on what Odell Beckham Jr. said about a $100 million contract on our show. And I get it. With this age of social media and podcasting, it's good to incite people. It's good to enrage people, to get them to interact with you and to feel like you're right. But we got to think about rationale and logic and context. Odell Beckham Jr. wasn't saying that you should get a $100 million contract and that means it's okay to blow it. It's okay to be irresponsible.
No. And I don't know if people are saying that. I don't think anybody's saying that, honestly. But no, he most definitely did not say that. He did not say that you should be irresponsible with your money. He was saying he did not have the financial literacy to know what to do with his money.
With it, what he was saying was, when you sign a $100 million deal, you don't actually get $100 million in your palm to spend on you.
Taxes.
Now, there's the context of it being tone deaf, because there are people who will never make $100,000 in a year, much less have a $100 million contract. There are people who are laid off, people who are fired, people who can't take care of their families on the sacrifices and the work that they put in because they can't make enough money. But he's speaking from his perspective, a perspective of talent, of work ethic, of discipline that earned him those blessings. And what he's saying is that when you sign a $100 million contract, after New Jersey state taxes cut into it, after federal state taxes cut into it, then it is truly only $60 million, which is
What the? Stop saying only. What do you mean only? Only, guys, it's just, hey man, it's just only 60 million. That ain't a lot of money. It ain't a lot of money. 60? What can you really do for $60 million these days? Only? Stop saying only. That is a shit ton of generational wealth. Stop saying only.
more than enough to live off forever.
Yeah.
But then when you take care of mama and daddy and sister and brother and family and friends, which may not be the smart thing to do.
One-time purchases, one-time big purchases, houses, cars. They don't need multiple cars. They don't need multiple houses. Give them the big purchases and that's it. They can continue living their lives how they've been living. And if they really need something, I will be here. But that's just my opinion.
But you feel like since I made it, we all made it. There are people who have sacrificed for you and people who have supported you and people who have been there for you who don't have that type of money, who don't have that type of wealth. And you do feel like you're supposed to give back to them. And then he said, too, like part of it you want to flaunt, right? Like I earned this. Like I want to go have fun with it. I want to go live a rock star lifestyle. And I'm not saying that that's the way to be.
Don't do that.
But what he was saying is at 24 or 25 years old, he didn't have the financial discipline, the financial intelligence, the financial wherewithal to do the right things all the time. And he was simply saying, if I'm never that rich again, I'd be all right. I'd be able to live. And so the context was he was just talking about things he's been through, things he's experienced, and being open and vulnerable with us and with the world. Not for the world to tear him down, not for the world to think he was great, but just to be honest. And so the context wasn't that Odell was saying he was broke, saying he blew through a $100 million contract, or saying that it wasn't a lot of money. He was just saying that this is how it felt to me.
No, he most definitely said it wasn't a lot of money. He most definitely said that. But he was speaking about himself. And that's one thing that I think Ryan is like, he didn't really clarify here. Because it sounded like he was speaking in general. He was saying, oh, if you get X amount of money, you're going to be spending, like $4 million a year. But what people don't understand is that Odell was talking about himself and not like the general, like American out here that's struggling or normal people, whatever.
I think we got to let people be okay with that, because how are we ever going to learn if every time somebody shares something that we don't necessarily understand or disagree with, we tear them down?
Okay, but you really have to understand, if people hear, oh, $100 million isn't that much money, you will not be able to sustain yourself for the rest of your life, then yeah, people are going to have an issue with it. But that's the part that people have an issue with, saying that this isn't generational wealth when you have terrible spending habits. That's what people have an issue with. But again, to be charitable to Odell, he was strictly talking about himself. He wasn't talking about anybody but himself. So again, to be fair, I do think people are blowing this way out of proportion. But guys, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Do you agree with anything that I said? Do you disagree? Please do me a favor, let me know in the comments down below. Like I said before, do not forget to share, like, and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. Don't forget to join the Discord, subscribe to the gaming channel as well, and make sure that you guys hype the video. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.